Hello and welcome to In the Art Scene podcast, a show that unites creatives from all over the world in sharing inspiration, life stories, business knowledge, and love for art. This show is a part of the San Diego Art Directory, a nonprofit organization serving as an informational hub for all things arts and culture in San Diego County, founded by yours truly. I'm Galina Marcus, and I invite you to explore a new angle of the multifaceted world of arts and creativity. As always, the show notes will be on our website, intheartscene.com. And now let's get to the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In the Art Scene podcast. I am with two of my dear friends and fantastic, phenomenal women artists who are local here in San Diego with me. Both of them you will recognize because they both have been separately on the show before. We are recording in January, right after the holidays. So please excuse my cranky voice. I am getting over some sickness, but I hope it sounds sexy.
Hell yeah.
and let me just welcome my wonderful ladies, Michelle Lubin and Galina Semenova. Two
Hello.
fantastic,
Hi.
phenomenal female artists. And there's a special reason why there's three of us on this call today, on this episode. Because we're planning something special for the first time as a group of women artists in San Diego for the month of March, which is the International Women's Month. We're having a joint show that we are calling tentatively, but I think I love the title. So stages of womanhood, stages of
Yeah.
womanhood. So each of us represent different stages and different experiences of womanhood, and we are looking to kind of share our experiences from a little bit of a deeper perspective to the wider audience to bring more attention to what women, mothers, artists are dealing with on a daily basis and how it all unravels. We have very different styles of work. You remember Michelle from one of the episodes. She has a body of work about her motherhood experience that she's never shown. Gala is the world-renowned photographer who is working specifically with women, especially right now running a very interesting project that she will talk about, I hope, a little bit on this episode. And I also have a small body of work that I have never shown based on my experience being pregnant and giving birth to my son, who is a wonderful toddler right now, a 2.5-year-old handful, adorable, that whose energy I still cannot match and probably will fail for the rest of my life. Anyway, ladies, welcome to the podcast. I am so extremely proud and grateful for doing this with you today on this episode. And this show, I'm super excited because I've never in my wildest dreams was thinking that I could do something like that, something meaningful, something very deep with people I deeply appreciate and love.
Aw. Well, we're happy to be a part of this. And again, I was with you that day that you spearheaded this. You were just like, let's do this. We were in Artist Craftsman wrapping up a different show, and you just said, let's schedule this right now. So if it weren't for you and your ballsiness and your willingness to just grab it by the horns and say, let's just schedule this and do this,
Oh
and
yeah, well,
we'll figure it out as we go.
thanks for saying that. So, so for the audience, I want to clarify that my bullsiness and spearheading is actually on a whim, just putting our name on the list for the March show.
But hey, but we're proving yet time and time again that it is the artist lifestyle is so much of a hustle, and it's not, it's only what you make it. So by you doing that, look what's happened. And we're already like quarter way through of what we've been planning. And it's a beautiful thing. And we're proving that, our art is so different, but it's so complementary. And there is we come at it from different angles of womanhood, but there is a collective sense here. And I think that's what's going to be really beautiful to share with everyone.
Gala, do you have something to add?
Yeah, because I'm surrounded by these two amazing women. They are mothers, and I'm not mother. So here is another perspective on the womanhood, how to like me being a woman artist without the kids. So I have a little bit my own perspective on this whole journey, right? And I think that's really interesting that three of us getting together with this show and putting together this artwork that speaks like on a different aspect of the womanhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so beautiful. I was so
Yeah.
happy when you offered me to be part of it. I'm like, okay, let's do it, but let's do it big and let's do it ballsy. Like, let's go for it.
Yeah, well, the reason I think that it's really interesting and it's really going to be impactful because each of us with our own mediums and totally different styles, the body of work that we're presenting is based on our own personal experience. Because Michelle, your work is practically not practically, they are self-portraits, right? And they're
Yes.
so emotional. And Gala, your work is also self-portraits, and you have been experimenting with different visual effects and moodiness and exploring your own, um, uh, you know, past childhood traumas, your current state of living, your dreams and desires. So I want to take this time and give each of us, a few minutes to just talk about the like the body of work that we're presenting. And I want to start with Michelle.
Ooh, all right.
Can you describe the big? I mean, you have never shown this body of work.
No, I've teased a little bit on Instagram, but that's about it. And a lot of it is, like you said, my artwork is literal. They're drawings, they're self-portrait drawings. Um, but to me, it's obviously it's about the self and what I've been experiencing and the push and pull of motherhood. And just the extremes that we're kind of dragged to. And a lot of it is, I just want the conversation to kind of go back to that. And that's what I think I really, really connected to with what you and I have talked about, that shared and collective experiences of the push and pull and that extremeness that you can't avoid it as a mother. But I love and I'm so excited to have Gala with us too because I sort of forgot that identity of what is that like. And I
Yeah.
want that so bad because because I'm on the a little extended version of where you're at. So my daughter is 9. And so I've gone past the baby phase, but now I'm in this, I have a little time back for me. So it's kind of like, wait, who am I? I'm not the same person, but I'm not the early mother either. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. And I know we're always figuring that out, but I'm really excited to have the it's not just the mother perspective, it is the woman perspective. And I love that we're doing this all together and kind of tying it all up. And Gala, I can't wait to, I obviously already looked at your art, but but I'm like, I can't wait to be submerged in it. And that is exciting. And we have all these ideas for what's gonna come, but to be standing in front of artwork from these three perspectives is I'm just excited for it because I've done group shows with women, small group shows with women. I've done the international woman stuff, but I don't know, this hits different because, it's current. The artwork that I'm showing is current and it's gritty and it's not always pretty. And again, I'm always fascinated and it's important to me to kind of hone in on those things that are not so pretty and not so always talked about, especially in motherhood. But the conversations are more and more these days, which I think is so important. And yeah, I think we should jump on that for sure.
Yeah. Can you describe your work to the listeners who like to someone who didn't see it before, so they
Okay.
can imagine what it is like, because I think that your style and your technique and your medium is quite unique. And also the visuals, although they are self-portraits, the way you're doing it, like you said, it's not always pretty. I mean, like your style of representational drawing is absolutely phenomenal, amazing. But you are adding elements, and the representation of emotions is really, like, to me, it transcends that idea that, yeah, it is, like, it is not pretty. It's all out there. It's raw. The emotions can be ugly, but we cannot deny them that in a way. So I just want you to try to describe what your work looks like to the people
Got
who are
it.
listening right now.
Okay. Well, they're representational, so it's not abstract at all. I mean, it's very literal. Literally, my portraits of my drawings of my body, my face, um, emotions, gestures. They're really at heightened points of that motherhood, whether I'm extremely sad, extremely tired, my stomach hurts, my legs, everything hurts. It's pointing to different parts of my body. So yeah, it's raw, it's vulnerable, but such is motherhood and such is who we are as women. And again, I've never been afraid to talk about that kind of stuff. Really, in my entire life, I've always been that TMI person, and my friends can attest to that. And I've never shied away from it. And even if I'm shy, and even if I'm feeling, a little protective, I will do what makes me uncomfortable because I think it's that important. So yes, they're portraits. They're self-explanatory. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at my artwork. And they are just pencil on wood. I don't add color. To me, I don't want to pussyfoot around the subject matter. I'm tired of beating around the bush. I'm tired of being told motherhood is rainbows and like I watched Night Bitch last night. That is an amazing movie, by the way. Every mother should watch that.
It's on
Holy,
my list.
oh my God. But anyway, I don't want to get too into that. But man, I have never felt so seen. Yeah, it's just yeah, I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I want to get to the point and I want to get to the conversation. So I make my art so that it starts the conversations and there's no halt or delay on that.
Well, yeah, and it does transcend it in a very powerful way. Like, to me, being in the earlier stages of motherhood, I'm looking at your work, it's like, oh my God, they told me it's gonna get easier.
Sorry, shit. I don't want to scare you. But I wish somebody had told me that, and that's the thing that I think I get. Oh, I don't regret a thing. I have no regrets. I made all the choices. I'm proud of all my choices. I just wish there was a little bit more truth and honesty surrounding these things. And this is why I'm here doing what I'm doing, collaborating with you ladies, because these are the topics that need to be discussed. If they're better understood, then maybe there won't be so much fighting,
Exactly, exactly. I
you
I
know?
I'm so on the same page with you. So is with you, Gala. I wanna get to your work, because your work is very, very different, because you are in a totally different realm of womanhood than Michelle and myself, because, like, right now our identity, Michelle's and mine, um they're so intertwined with the motherhood experiences, and because we cannot get rid of our children. I mean, come on, it's like that's a life sentence. That's it. But
Yes.
you are in a totally different situation. But what you are exploring, of being a woman, growing up as a woman, experiencing different things, emotions, in the way, like, your work is so sophisticated, but in the way it's also raw. And it to me, it also transcends those moments when I just want to, like, I don't know, scream in the pillow, or sit in the corner and cry, or, allow myself a little self-pity, or celebrate myself in wherever I am, in terms of my body image, my work, my life, my relationships, whatever. So you do this so beautifully. So I want you to talk a little bit about the work that you want to put in the show and describe it to people who've never maybe seen it before. And by the way, people, if you haven't seen either of these ladies' works, first of all, go back to their interviews, the individual interviews on the podcast, and what rock are you living under? Come on, just click the links and go and give them some love. Okay, this it's so worth your time.
Thank
Women
you.
supporting women. Woo woo.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sitting here. Thank you so much. And I'm sitting here, and because we started working on this project like maybe about a month ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least. I
Yeah.
don't know, the time flies really fast, and I just came back from 10 days being like in silence in the mountains, and I plugged myself back, and I don't think I remember everything that was before.
Well, you did Vipassana, right?
No, I did mindfulness foundations, meditations,
Mm.
but yeah, it's a little bit different types of meditation, but still it's in a silence because all
Oh
meditation
yeah.
retreats
Oh
they
my
happen
God.
in a silence, right?
You just got back. You're probably so raw after this.
I got back and it's a little bit difficult to plug myself back to everything what was happening. And feel embarrassed, but I forgot what works I picked for the show. So I had to go on a Google Drive right now and just and go and like, oh, okay, now I remember. So now because I remember, because I see what I picked, I can speak about it.
Wait, you're not supposed to have mom brain just yet.
And this is the reality of planning a very sophisticated show. You people who are thinking about like, oh my God, this is so difficult. There's so much planning and curation. Yeah, there is a lot of planning and curation, but also moments like this.
Yes.
So
Yeah, for sure. So, and yeah, so when I think when we speak about the experience, the human experience, right? It feels that it's different. My story is different from your story. I don't have a kid, you have a kid, so like this is different from yours, but isn't it the same in the core of it? When we go and we in pain, and it's a lot of different moments come up, right? The events is just the triggers, but what they trigger is just the deep emotions. And aren't we all very similar in that emotions,
Mm.
right? So, and I think that's where the work speaks on that deeper level of emotions. And um, and I think that's where my work is touching the feelings, right? Because I go through so many different emotions, so many different emotional waves, and I think the way for me to transcend it or to understand it is to create the work, so I can really dive deep into that. Michelle, it's the same for you, right? It's all the processing of the feelings and the experiences, all this rawness like that's happening inside. um and then anyone who look at that can connect with this in this deeper level of humanity. We all the same. It's all just human. That's our human nature. Um and with that, the most of that work that I will be showing at the show is self-portraits as well. But there is at least one is not self-portrait. Galina, it's yours. It's your portrait when you were pregnant with Gregory. And I'm really proud with this piece, and I've never shown it to anybody. Even you did not see it in real life yet.
No, not in real life. So
Yeah, only picture.
yeah, it's so we're teasing a lot of stuff that people have never seen before. So oh, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, so that project was really interesting to me because I started working with like going beyond just a 2D print. I kind of like got really a little bored with the 2D prints because I think you can print thousand and they're gonna be the same. But if I would do something to it, then it's gonna be like a one and only one painting, the original, right? And the idea of that to make the original art is was I was really getting into exploration of that. And that's when I created that piece with you
Hmm.
using different materials and what not, right? And it's beautiful, it's original, it's nothing like anything else. So I'm really excited to show it.
Yeah.
Um,
I know that you have done one other portrait with that kind of embellishment that was, you know, a private project for you, which you like you're not going to show anywhere, and then now it belongs to the person.
yeah, yes, I did the portrait session for my girlfriend, and she has a breast cancer. And that's when I created the first trial of that approach, and that inspired me to do the bigger project. And it just I called it Birds of Paradise. I have not created many pieces,
Oh,
but it's like it's still cooking because I don't know. I come to the place in my work where I have this idea and I created few pieces, and then it's not like I get sidetracked, but the life happens, right? So it kind of slows down, but
Yeah.
this project is still on works. It's still in my mind. I still want to do like at least a few more, right? Um, but yeah, just I need to find the time.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in the real life, but you showed me some pictures of it and like a short video. So the embellishments of the printed photo with like the actual objects and pieces and there's I think there's a little glitter and there's lots of feathers and it's like it's just
Yeah.
it's really it gives it like a totally different vibe and it brings it to life and then because the you know the feathers are moving and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
But also interesting about your work. What's interesting is in general, like all the self-portrait that you selected and plus my portrait, the experimentation of the visual representation of different feelings that you want to communicate with people is just like none of them are the same. You have different effects in different ways, and it, it's just it's so like the different is the only word that I can probably find right now in my congested brain to describe it. Like I haven't seen anything like that, and I also know a little bit about how you create those visual effects. And to me, it is mind blowing, and it's like everybody has to know what. In my mind, everybody has to know the context of creation of the certain work and the mechanics of the experimentation that you're putting in it because just you know visual is giving you that sense but the additional information of how it's been done and what you were trying to achieve and why you use the techniques that you were using is just giving it a whole new level of experience. Like to me personally, I mean,
no.
I'm that kind of crazy visual person as we are all.
You know what? I got a word.
Yeah,
I would say what connects the three of our work is oh God, don't kill me. I'm not the grammar lady, but it's visceralness, if that's a word.
it
It's very,
is.
all three of our works are really visceral and really tactile in a 2D way, but you can, oh God, maybe I'm messing that all up, but I would say like all our work
I
is really visceral and I hope that segues into you explaining your artwork and
Yeah.
these pieces that, again, I don't think people are going to be ready for your artwork. And that's to me what makes it so impactful and so freaking important. And again, it's a really beautiful segue
I
from
I
Galina
like the
to
word.
you to me. And I think that visceralness is really the one thing that really ties the three of us. I think you
Yeah.
could look at all three of our work and
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I'm sorry to say, but I think that's that like, ooh, and because I feel like I've heard that about my work. I've heard that about your work. I've heard that about Gala's work. And I feel like that is the thing that ties us. So segue into you, my lady.
I love the word because it really represent that, you know, the feeling in the gut, like
Mhm.
almost like a physical that gets in the like in the body. But before I start talking about my work, I just wanted to give Gala, you know, a couple more minutes because I've been, you know, pushing her to describe what she's doing. I just don't want to jump off, you know, that topic if you want to talk about it.
I think like in simple words, if I would describe what I'm doing, first I work with colors. So I choose my colors with purpose, and then and I choose the colors that go together purposefully, right? Because these colors they represent some feelings and sensations for me. Um, and most likely they represent some feelings to other people too, and that's why probably the work is visceral, so it's like very tactile. It stirs up some sensations in you
Hmm.
and feelings. And I like to work with materials, and I like to photograph in a reflection. Maybe even I use mylar to create this ethereal picture. It's not photoshopped. That's how I photograph, right? And it gives this feelings like unsettledness or something. Um, yeah. So I like to experiment with materials, and I want to experiment more in the future. I think that's why my work is going towards like experimenting with the different materials and what I can build on top of the image that I create, or how I can print it maybe in a way that it's different. That's what interesting for me at this moment of my artistic career.
Well, yeah. So we have a couple other surprises about this show that we're going to talk about a little later. But yeah, thank you. It's a really great explanation. And people, you know what? Just to all the listeners, like you listen to our descriptions, and you know how I usually put like the a little carousel of work examples in the show notes. There ain't gonna be one for this episode. We're gonna have a show notes, and we're gonna have, you know, the image of a flyer for our show. And if you are in San Diego, I urge you to come to Artist and Craftsman Supplies store in Hillcrest in March to see the show because it's going to be exceptional. And if you are not in San Diego, we are also going to have a virtual reality show that will uh, you know, display more of work because Artisan Craftsman is giving us very limited space, but we have more to show, and it's going to be available for anyone, anywhere, at any time in the world. We will have that link. So you got to see this. It's like it's not, it doesn't cost you anything. You just got to see it for yourself. Just we're just teasing here. So yeah, my work is all about the experience of, you know, the latest day of pregnancy and birth, and in a way, like I've never done anything like this before or since. And for me it was very like I was kind of in the process of trying to describe my own experience in the visual way, but the experience that I had is not like anything I've ever had before. So my usual medium, which is, you know, mostly acrylic painting, wouldn't do it justice. And so what I did, I had watercolor. So I have a series of these little watercolor paintings And the reason I was using watercolor is because it is a very uncomfortable medium for me. I I adore people who can work with watercolor and make it look like what they did is meant to be that way. To me, watercolor never works that way. It goes everywhere. I cannot control it. And it's just an explosion. So was the experience of, of late pregnancy and birth. It's an explosion of everything. So many new and different sensations in your body, and then the whole process. It's emotional and it's very physical, and it's also, to me, like I had my son later than, later in life. I was 38 when I had him. So wanting to have a child since I was probably 25. So it's been like 12, 13 years in the making, as you can imagine. So there's a lot of that, the starry eye, the expectations, the, dreams and hopes, and then pain and uncomfortableness
The
and
reality.
the reality of it. It's just so, you're waiting for this little human to meet you and give you all the love, and what you get is, bleeding bottom for a month at a time, and then bleeding nipples and lack of sleep and all kinds of, like, none of it is pretty, none of it is comfortable, none of that is enjoyable. I mean, it's, yeah, we always compare, like, the beauty of motherhood and the love that you're experiencing. Yeah, there's love, but there's also a lot of not love. And that clash of everything, I could not produce in any other way but just using watercolor. And in my own way, I love a lot of colorful work. So there was a lot of irony in that as well. It's like, all the hopes and all the realities clashing at the same time. So the works are small, but they're whimsical and colorful in the way.
Yeah.
But they're also raw and ugly in the way.
Yeah,
I
So
find
you
them
really
beautiful. I
you
find
you
them beautiful.
I like
it's
them. And also,
wild. You find this way to holy shit, exactly what you said. It's like it's bright and colorful and whimsical, but downright dirty.
yeah,
And
dirty is a good
yeah,
word. Yeah.
how you did that. And I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I do have a question. So
Yes.
did you knowingly go into using watercolor, or that was just it was the first thing that felt right at that moment?
It was kind of, I don't know, you guys will probably understand that. It was an experimentation, but it was like something that just popped up and drew me to this, because watercolor is normally not the medium that I'm like is on top of my mind, right? Uh, um, it, but it was conscious, but it wasn't a calculated choice, It was kind of like, what can I do? What can I experiment with? And then my hand kind of grabs the set of watercolors and is like, what can I do with that? So yeah, it was conscious, but it wasn't like calculated because I know exactly what the watercolor is going to do. No. So it was kind of both.
So piggybacking off of that question for both of you and for all three of us, when because we're all pulling from our emotions and really deep rooted, deep felt stuff, do you go into your creative process knowing what you ultimately want it to look like? Or again, it's just, I got to get this out. Whatever the fuck happens, happens, and we'll just roll with it. So, Gala, you first. Do you go knowing what you want it to ultimately look like, or just I got to get it out?
No, I think it's just I gotta do it. And whatever
Nice.
will come up, that will be it. So it happens in a moment.
Yeah.
And Galina.
Yeah, I think the same for me, especially with this body of work. Most of the time when I'm painting with acrylic, I have a rough idea and some reference, and then I'm making some other choices, kind of like, throwing paint or, experimenting with little like with the light and stuff, and see what happens. But at least I would have a rough idea. But with this body of work, no, I really didn't. I really needed to get this out of me as soon as possible. And as soon as I was done with all 12, I was like, and since I actually gave my watercolor set to a friend of mine because it's like I don't want to see it in my studio for a while. Like if I want to do something with watercolor, I'll ask it back. But right now it's like I put it all into this and it just needed out of my sight.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you?
And it's funny, it's because I didn't really think about it until I just asked the question. I'm like, huh, that's funny because most of my series past um, is pretty usually normally fairly manic, where it's like I have no game plan. And I know a lot of people ask me because it's drawing such representational figures and faces, if I go at it with a strategy, and I really have not in the past. Again, it was just grabbing a piece of wood, sanding it, and then just drawing wherever I felt like it. And but for this particular series, this was different because I had no real strategy, but it was like when I finished a piece, if it didn't sit right, I redid it. And that I don't think people know of me. I'm not a perfectionist. I've never been. But for this particular series, I found myself like, no, no, that's not right. That's not representational of that's not quite the emotion. And I found myself doing that so much, which is weird because I've never done that. And it wasn't until my therapist said, like she kind of helped me hone in on it, and she saw my art in the background of our conversation one day, and she was like, why don't you just accept that motherhood is, and even womanhood, anything, all of it, all of us, men, women, whatever, we're a work in progress. And she was like, what about accepting an unfinished piece? What about accepting it the way it is? And it was like, oh, duh.
But it's not
And it was
comfortable, right?
no, and it's
Yeah.
not. And I'm trying to gain comfort with the last few pieces of the series of like, okay, okay, just walk away. And but again, that's not normally like me. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not usually like once I'm done, I'm done. I got the emotion out, I'm good. But like this one has been finicky for sure. And I've, been at it for 2 years now, a little over 2 years with this mother series. And I think it's because we are never going to be done mothering. That is
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It is
that's
the
true.
life sentence,
Yeah. Also,
good, bad,
as
or
we
indifferent.
we're never gonna be done being women.
Nope.
Also, yeah, and it's there's a lot of things and a lot of changes that are happening in our body and in our psyche, and in the society and the culture throughout our life, and all of it is a constant transition from one state to another that we ultimately have to accept and adapt as soon as we can. So that length of time when we are kind of tuned into whatever is happening can be more or less comfortable, and then until the next switch. So yeah, it's really interesting because I like that you asked that question because it also shows how we're processing all of that in totally different ways, right? Not only being in different stages, and different or different backgrounds even, but also as God is like you said, like human beings, we're kind of all the same, but we're all different. We're processing all those things from a very, very different perspective and with very different tools and techniques that we have, that we own. So it's
You
really
know,
cool.
and you think about the word cliche or
Mm-hmm.
and I've always kind of laughed at it like, huh, and always laughed when I realized, oh my God, I am a walking cliche. And it's like, what are cliches? Shared experiences. Yes, we're all different. And yes, we have different emotions and feelings and the way we interpret these experiences. But the fact of the matter is they're cliches because they're shared experiences.
Yeah.
And again, it's like if we just came together a little bit more, broke down that like, well, this is mine and that's yours. And instead said, that's mine, that's yours. But oh my God, this is where we do come together. And
Yes.
again, it's that it is a beautiful thing when we can tie it all together and say, we are women, period.
Yeah. That would be a cool title too for the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, we can just end on that.
That we
Period. Done.
we can make it a tagline, okay?
Mic drop.
Точно. Yeah, for sure.
And
Gala, do you?
that's what makes it so
Yeah.
fun collaborating
Yeah.
is none of this shit really like it spawns more beautifully and organically when you do collaborate. And I for me, I'm at that point where I feel like I have done a lot. I've drawn a lot. I've done a lot of different art. And I'm at that point where I want to collaborate more. I want that feeling I love how it bounces off. I love how I feel when I get off these calls. And there's just a beauty in that and a camaraderie, and we need each other. And we joke the women supporting women, all these cheesy sayings. But again, why are they cheesy? Because we all feel it deep down,
Yeah,
and
it's
and
so
it is
true.
that warm fuzzy feeling of, oh, okay, she's in my corner, and we need that in this world today.
Yeah. Yeah. Gala, do you have something to say to that?
No, I'm just here, and
I'm
it
sorry,
feels so good.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that you have enough time to talk. But you're also,
My
yeah, I
mind
know.
goes. Look, my mind goes right away. Yeah, I always want to collaborate. I want to create some piece that bunch of people working together, maybe not a bunch, but maybe like few people can collaborate in one piece. And what can we create? Because like we all have different skills, right? Different approach, different imagination, whatever we want to use. And then how we can put this all together and create one piece together.
Oh my God. Okay. Now you get now you get my
Now, if
brain
only
working.
if only people could see her eyes, the way they just lit up. Damn, girl, I love it.
All right.
So that's where I went.
I want to tease a couple other things about the show. So first of all, you both have been doing this, I mean art, this whole art thing way longer than I have. I feel like, because I feel like you guys are on totally like way ahead of me and everything. And I know that you have certain recognitions. And if I am not mistaken, Gala, you are presenting some work that has been recognized or awarded or published somewhere. And Michelle, I think one of your works that may not be in the show now belongs to the Museum of Womanhood or Museum of Motherhood
Museum of
in
Motherhood.
Florida. So I want you ladies to talk about that a little bit to kind of, to show our listeners like, yeah, there's like three crazy ladies talking about their woman parts and stuff, right? But it is actually serious work that has been recognized by other people, by other people. So Gala, let's start with you.
Um, so what are we talking about? We're talking about some awards and recognitions.
Yep.
Um, I think the work that I will be presenting has been published. I don't recall if any of that particular work is awarded. I don't think so, but it has been published in a big international magazines like a Lens magazine.
I think your self-portrait with a Mylar reflection, that was one that, had quite a bit of publication.
Um, yeah, quite few of them. Like yeah, quite few of them. They have been published in the different times by Lens magazine, and the different issues, like different years. I don't have any works that have been awarded per
Mm.
se, but has been published for sure.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
and has been exhibited also.
and there's at least one, which is me, moi, that has never been seen before.
No, actually, it's so unique that it only has been seen by one, two, maybe three people, maybe
Wow.
four,
Wow.
like at all
Oh,
in
that's
in like in
great.
real in person. So it's very, yeah, I keep it in a box and I don't show it to anyone, you
Oh my God,
know.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to show it because it's so different from anything that I have created, right?
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, well, the whole time you were describing this thing, and I've seen the photos of it, I keep thinking, I just wish I can afford it. If I can afford it, it's going back home with me. Seriously, like, because not that I would not, I would love for anyone who falls in love with this work to have it and acquire it, because I don't have, I don't have any um, embarrassment or anything, because I'm there very pregnant and very naked in that picture, right?
Very.
So, and it's, you have it all, please, by any means. But it's also so personal to me, because I feel like this has been a collaboration for us. You captured a very special moment of my life and my stage of life, on that day, because it was literally, I think it was like a week before I
A
delivered.
week before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. And the, like, how we did it, the whole thing, it was, the whole production, it was just we did the photo shoot like in my kitchen. Like, you
Yes, we
can never,
did.
like, yeah, you can never tell when you're looking at the pictures. You could never tell, but yeah, I was, jumping around the house butt naked.
Oh, I love
So,
it.
yeah, posing to go in my kitchen.
Oh.
But listen,
So it's very, yeah, it's very personal to me, and you made it look and feel even more special, because that particular moment was so special to me, because I was, grounded to the earth and was heavy and, very pregnant. But at the same time, I was in that, expectation moment, like something is happening. There's new, like, yeah, kind of like a bird, like flickering almost. So yeah, it's really cool.
Birds
And
of paradise.
birds of paradise. That's, yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, so you have all the other work, most of the work that you're presenting has been internationally recognized, published,
Mhm.
and has been around, and it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And Michelle, the work that now belongs to the Motherhood Museum in Florida is obviously not going to be in a physical exhibition, but will you
Yes.
be able to show it in the virtual reality room?
Um, I have to double check on that, but it is an older piece of when my daughter was first born, and it's my hand, her hand, and just a real close up. It's kind of that pulled perspective that I used to really like to do prior to what I'm working on now. Um, but again, I submit my work to a lot of different places, and I think in the last few years, especially since COVID, kind of getting outside the traditional two-dimensional exhibition viewing, I really started to tap into that kind of virtual gallery thing, and didn't really understand what the hell I was doing, but learned a lot through two main website. I'm sorry, two online organizations, Women Artists United Movement, and Art. Oh God, what's the and well, She Makes. Sorry, my brain's. But both of those, I've had artwork published in their magazines. But this one hit for some reason, and maybe it's because my headspace. But the Museum of Motherhood, I don't know. And it is an older work, but it just hit me. And I think because of the research I was doing of this museum and kind of that whole, what's my identity now? What's my legacy kind of thing? And I never really thought about any of that until I became a mother. Like at first it was, I just want to create art. I just want to let my feelings out. And now it's like, what the hell is my legacy? And this was one of those things that I called my mother like almost immediately. I'm like, Mommy, like turning into a child and just like, oh my God, I have a piece of artwork in a museum of motherhood. And I don't know, I still don't understand why I'm feeling like that, but it does hit a weird, good, positive nerve. And I'm really excited. It will be for auction in March as well. Also in March.
Okay,
It will be for
we'll put the link for that too in the show
yeah,
notes.
it
Yeah.
will be for auction. And again, it's just what they're doing with that museum. Never been there. Obviously, it's in Florida. I'm in San Diego, but it's what they're honing in on. And again, that reality, the real struggles, the real experiences. And yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, man, I want to be a part of that. I want to be with those women because I feel the same way in terms of wanting to share it and wanting to explore that a little deeper and maybe not through my art, but through the other experiences of these women artists, despite what end they're on. And again, just more things to be explored, talked about, discussed. Yeah. And you, my dear,
Oh no, I don't. No. I no.
what do you
You
No,
got
don't
going
not,
what?
on?
not none of the work that I am putting in the show has ever been published anywhere. And I just teased it on Instagram a little bit, maybe once. I don't have it on my website. I did, one set of very small prints and I put them in the local store, and surprisingly, people were buying them. Not a lot, but like it's kind of like that thing. If it hits, it hits. So I got a text that, one woman came and bought like five of them at the same time because they were like, oh my God, I've been seen, that kind of stuff. Uh, but the originals are buried deep in the folder because just like with the set of watercolors, I've done them and I put them away. So I'm yet to uh, get them out, get them framed, prepare them for the show because right now they're really not show ready. But there's another thing that I wanted to tease about this exhibition because we are in the process, and like as of the date of this recording, which we're recording in the beginning of January, so the show is still almost 3 months away. Well, no, 2 months
Two.
away. Two
2 months
months away.
away.
Oh my God, 2 months. Two
Yeah.
months. We
Ooh.
don't have enough time. Ah! So the show is still 2 months away, but we are having this idea. We probably most likely will do something. We'll have a couple of 3D pieces, which one of them is my body cast when I was pregnant, which I did I think I was like 35, 36 weeks pregnant. So it's like was a couple of weeks before Gala took my portrait. Another one is also a body cast of a pregnant woman who is a friend of mine, and she was very gracious to let me do that with her. And I told her she's a very cool person, and she appreciates all kind of quirky arts. And I said, we'll make something about it, and if you want it back to display it, it's yours. And she's like, come on, where am I going to display this? So you do your art stuff. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And we are thinking about doing maybe another body cast with one of you ladies or Gala. I don't know if you have done anything with the cast of your face that we did.
I have
Maybe.
not done anything. It's
So maybe
still
that
in the
maybe that
box.
can be
Ooh.
your 3D piece. So I am
Mhm.
doing something with the body cast of myself. Michelle is taking over the second one, and maybe you can present the face.
Okay. Okay. They put me
Yeah.
on the spot, by the way, just now.
I know, I'm sorry. We didn't have a chance to talk about it before. And I literally I had this idea as we were talking on like as we started recording. It's like,
We're flowing with it.
yeah, because we were planning on doing a couple other body casts and seeing like, okay, well, different stages of body of a woman and different stages of life, right? But then I remembered that we did a cast for you, and I don't know if you had an idea or you just wanted to experiment or something. It was I think Gregory was just born. He was just like a couple months old, a few months old. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And again, you were here in my kitchen, and I was putting this, you know, the plaster strips all over your face.
That's true.
Yeah, taking advantage of his nap and just just hoping that he will not wake up in the middle of this whole thing. So we get finished and you can open your eyes and breathe.
Oh my God.
That's how it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
So
was
I
a
still
very
I still have
interesting.
it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but I guess now you have to do something about it.
So
It's
now I have
recorded.
to do
Now you have to,
something.
yeah. So there will be three of the 3D works also done by the three of us in our own ways of expressing what we want to express, very different visually, very experimental, because I don't think any of us have done anything like that in the past. uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't. Uh, and the idea is that on the opening day, which will be March 8th, the International Women's Day, those pieces will be offered to anyone who comes who wants to try them on and see what it feels like
Men, we're
to
speaking to you.
we're actually speaking to
Just
anyone,
kidding.
and yeah, but yes, men are very welcome if they want to at least get a little closer to experiencing what it is to be a woman, whether wearing a woman's face or pregnant body or whatever. It's definitely not going to be the same experience, but it's our way of creating this immersive art experience for people who are interested in that, or just at least interested in taking a step forward to understanding and being more compassionate to women experiences. So
Stepping into.
that like into like literally, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the idea. Again, girls, we don't have much time. 2 months is not enough, but we're gonna get that. I really
I
like to
love
me
this
this is like,
idea.
yeah, to me this is one of the most exciting ideas for the show. And again, cannot speak for all three of us. For myself, I am so stretched thin and exhausted from last year. But I literally yesterday, like as soon as I started feeling a little bit better after my cold, I spent a couple of hours just cleaning up space on my work table in the studio, because the belly cast, I mean, it's a life size, obviously. So I need space to put it somewhere and make a mess around it, because I have no idea what I'm gonna do still. So it's gonna be a surprise for myself too.
You know what's funny is just, again, this always happens. I finish a piece of work and I feel like that's it. I'm done. I'm never gonna have an idea again. And then like the next day, it's like, oh shit, here we go. Got it, got it. And a lot of times it's getting off the phone with artists and stuff like this, conversations like this, where it's like, oh damn, now it's like, wait, 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 I need paper. I need something. Give me something.
Girl, this is
Now
why
I
I do
already
the
have an
podcast.
idea. This is
This is why I do
a,
this podcast. That's the same experience, totally.
and I love that. And I think what I'm most excited for is I'm eager. Yeah, I'm eager to see if that feeling is mutual with viewers. Because I see it with us, I see it with other artists I've collaborated, that weird like, ooh, it's like an adrenaline rush that you get. And I'm curious to see if, when the three of us get together and we have our artwork together and we're there. So people attending in person, virtual is going to be a different experience. One I'm also excited for. but the in person of all three of our work, having a tangible object that you can actually try on,
Hmm.
talk to us, I think I'm just really eager to see what conversations it strikes and what their faces, what people's faces actually look like when they see our artwork. And that to me is the big excitement.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Gala, sorry for putting you on the spot.
No, 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 it's good. I already have the idea. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just, do I have time? Please, I know, like, I want to have time for that.
We have to make time. We don't have much. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
make time.
I know it will come. The time will create itself. And you know, if on that tail end of motherhood that a little, not like she's a teenager, but I feel like I've gotten to at least that point in accepting that um, you know, we don't know. I'm sitting here with a bum knee because I tore my ACL. Not much I can do about that, but I know the time will be had for what needs to get done for this. We're all of us are looking so forward to it that I think, you know, the time will be made for it. You will make the time,
Yeah.
and you know, hopefully with grace and hopefully not, no pressure, because this is a passion project for all of us.
Yeah.
And I think that comes across very naturally, even talking to Allie, you know, it's funny to see how natural the excitement is for all of us. And again, I'm just eager to see other people's reaction, but we'll make the time, we'll find the time. And you know, you run into something, ask us. We're here to help. And on that tail end, you know, I'm finally realizing between my kid, my leg, we have to ask for help. No one's got ESP. Nobody's a mind reader. We have to ask for the help that we need in the moment. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm learning at this point as a woman is I ain't got it all figured out. I need help. And I'm gonna seek it out now. I never really sought it out, and now I'm ready to do that. And I'm excited to seek it out, however so. So ask
Yeah.
away. What's the worst that could happen? People say no. Okay,
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. Next. Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Any
Exactly.
any closing words, ladies? Gala?
Well, what do you want? You want people come and celebrate with us, right?
Yep.
And that's why we do it, so we can all connect on this deeper level of human existence and experiences.
Yeah.
And we can all inspire each other. So keep moving, right?
Yeah.
With whatever
Exactly.
happens.
Exactly. Keep moving and shaking, shaking, shaking,
Yeah, yeah,
shaking,
yeah,
shaking.
yeah,
I like that. So now we need to do video of this, or we need to
You know
have
what? I
this
think I
like.
will. I will post a video of this episode. Yeah, despite that, I'm wiping my nose constantly, but
Oh, good.
I think it's still our faces speak a lot in this episode. So I'm really happy that we're recording video. Uh,
Wait, what did I say
yeah.
before? I am woman, period. Mic drop. What did I say before? That's how we should end this.
we'll have to re-listen. Yeah, yeah,
We are women,
we're women. Period.
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 Done.
Yeah, the period is
Is
it's
it?
it's the part of it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it needs to be spelled out.
I love
Period.
that. Period. All right, let's very quickly wrap it up with telling people where to find all of us and how to see that show. So, Michelle, spell it out for yourself.
All right. My website, mdferrera.com. But we are showing at Artist Craftsman in Hillcrest. March, oh God, March, March 8th. Time we're still working on, but just put March 8th on your calendars for sure.
Okay, and people, if you visit Michelle's website, you like her work, make sure that you put your name in the
Oh, thanks.
newsletter because she will be announcing the exhibition as well. So will Gala.
Mhm.
So spell that out, please.
That's gonna be a little difficult, but that's gonna be Galina Semenova.com.
All right. So for anyone who didn't catch that, all the links will be in the description in the show notes. So you can just click. You don't have to rewind and re-listen. But yes. So all of us will be sending out notifications. So if you are on our lists, please sign like if you're on our list, keep an eye on. If you are not, please sign up. You can find me at galinamarquez.com. I will be probably announcing it on my website as well, my Instagram for sure, galinamarquez_art. And I will be supporting this show on behalf of San Diego Art Directory, which is a great resource regardless whether you're looking for this show or something else in San Diego in terms of arts and culture. So make sure that you are on our list because it will be in the newsletter. There will be a listing. There will be a link to the virtual reality gallery, and there will be all kinds of other stuff, and of course references to all our websites and social media and other things. And we're really, really grateful for the Artist Craftsman Supply store, our local one in San Diego. We know that, you know, there's the only one in San Diego, but they are a national company. So our local Artist Craftsman is an amazing community builder. They have this corner where they invite local artists to present their work free of charge once a month. They're not taking commissions. They're not taking, any rental fees or anything like that. They just want our local artists thrive, and they have been supportive of us. They have been supportive of San Diego Art Directory. They're really supportive of this particular show because they really want to showcase the women experiences for the month of March. So the show will be up probably very beginning, like the March 1st, March 2nd, but the opening reception is on March 8th. And there will be opening reception in the virtual reality gallery. So please stay tuned for that. And there will be opening reception physically at the Artist Craftsman in San Diego. Again, Hillcrest in San Diego. If you're here, if you're not, please visit. March is a beautiful month. So yeah, we are excited to do that for all of you, and we're excited to finally, show our work in the context that it deserves, not just being a part of a big group show, but actually come together with complementary messages, with very different visual representations of what it means for us to be women, to be mothers, to be artists, to be humans. And give it a very, very special voice in a very special place. So
Well said. Amen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Looking forward
Alrighty.
to that, definitely.
And thank you,
Yes.
Galina, for spearheading this, just getting the ball rolling, and yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. Oh my God.
Well,
Now I'm
ladies,
getting
we are
nervous.
doing it already.
There's no turning back.
No.
No turning back.
Many wheels already spinning.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you so much. It's been a whole hour we've been talking, which is awesome. And Gala, I gotta have you back to talk about your project, Humanity Portraits, which please, guys, stay tuned because that's another. Yeah, we all here on this episode are movers and shakers now in the community, and Gala is doing something absolutely special. Like I haven't seen anything like this before, so we're gonna be talking about that because it deserves the whole other episode. Michelle, take care of yourself, girl. I will deliver the body cast to you.
I can meet you halfway.
I will take care of your leg, please. All right, we'll see you guys in the art scene.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of In the Art Scene. Show us some love by sharing it with your friends and giving it a raving 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts. By doing this, you're supporting my nonprofit organization called San Diego Art Directory on its mission to make San Diego a new cultural destination. To learn more, visit sandiegoartdirectory.com and intheartscene.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Have an inspiring day. I will see you next time in the art scene.